It has been called the most spectacular lake in the world. Lake Powell, unparalleled for its breathtaking scenery and multitude of recreational activities. Within a short drive from this jewel of the Arizona high country are some of the most dramatic canyons on Earth. The incomparable Grand Canyon, a mile-deep geological wonder. Monument Valley, setting for some of the most famous Western movies. This is American Indian country, home of the Navajo Nation. Bryce Canyon, where nature has carved a series of delicate, colorful spires and temples. You will visit the haunting ruins of an advanced civilization that mysteriously vanished. And majestic Zion National Park. Along the Virgin River, you will explore cliffs and mountains with biblical names, names inspired by their grandeur. Some say it's like the Grand Canyon filled with water. A close comparison. This is Glen Canyon, the result of 250 million years of canyon cutting by 5 major rivers. But it took a modern-day engineering marvel to fill it with these deep blue waters. Glen Canyon Dam has produced Lake Powell. This magnificent desert lake has now become one of the most popular recreational attractions in the world. Certainly one of the most beautiful and unusual. This accounts for the millions of visitors who flock here each year to enjoy Lake Powell and the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. And most of them are so delighted, they return again and again. They come to explore, to houseboat, to speedboat. They're here to fish. They're here to sightsee. To sun on the beach. To fill their sails and glide with the wind. And to raft the famous Colorado River downstream. Because of its central location, Lake Powell is within easy side trips to the Grand Canyon. Zion National Park, Bryce Canyon National Park, Monument Valley, plus a multitude of other famous attractions. Lake Powell is a wonderland of steep sandstone canyons filled with wide stretches of deep, clear water. It is coves, Huge sandstone caves, sandy beaches, narrow inlets, and quiet lagoons. Despite all the visitors, Lake Powell is so immense, it is still an ideal place for quiet solitude. It's called a land of room enough and time enough. Room enough because there are 96 major canyons plus hundreds of smaller ones like this. It is fed by rivers with colorful names: the Colorado, the Green, the Escalante, San Juan, and the Dirty Devil. The lake stretches 186 miles from Arizona up into Utah. It has 2,000 miles of beautiful shoreline. There are places here where the water is 500 feet deep and sheer cliffs tower above you. Lake Powell is shades and shapes, a fanciful watercolor painting. It is a land of enchantment, of moods and mystique. Lake Powell is also a mecca for water sports. David and Colleen Price bring their family of skiing enthusiasts to the lake practically every weekend. Dave was a champion water skier, and the younger Prices are experts in just about every phase of water sports. Besides a houseboat and speedboat, the Prices have almost every water toy ever invented. The main channel and broad bays provide good, safe water skiing conditions throughout Lake Powell. For most visitors, this is home on Lake Powell, a floating home, a houseboat. Lake Powell may be the houseboat capital of the world. A small part of the giant armada rests at anchor in the Wahweap Bay. Most of the Lake Powell marinas rent houseboats, but this is the busiest starting point. Wahweap Marina, just outside Page, Arizona. Houseboat living is a combination of convenience, comfort, adventure, and romance. With 6 marinas about 50 miles apart, you can explore the entire length of Lake Powell. The lake was named for an explorer, Major John Wesley Powell. Powell led the first expedition to chart these western canyons. In small dories, they covered the Green River, then the untamed Colorado, down through Glen Canyon, and on to the Grand Canyon. Powell's whitewater adventures took place more than 100 years ago. Today's visitors can explore in quiet comfort. You can fish, swim, explore caves and arches among the cliffs, then have dinner and spend the night. In the wider canyons, there's always the joy of finding a sandy cove for a few hours or a few days. Exploring the 2,000 miles of Lake Powell shoreline in a small boat is a special adventure. The most adventurous often try one of the hundreds of narrow, high-walled canyons. Many of these have no names. Some can't even be found on maps. This makes you feel like a true explorer. Sometimes the walls close in so tightly, there are only inches to spare. Just beyond the next bend lies the unknown, a dead end, or an undiscovered paradise. Among the West's mysteries are the ruins of the Anasazi. That's a Navajo word meaning ancient ones. They made their homes in these cliffside pueblos hundreds, maybe thousands of years ago. The building materials were rocks and timbers found in the western canyons. The Anasazi cliff dwellings have survived the centuries in the arid climate. The National Park Service needs your help in preserving Anasazi ruins and artifacts. They are precious remnants of a lost civilization. Take nothing but pictures, leave nothing but footprints. Lake Powell is filled with sheer cliffs. The rocks are rich in minerals which stain the surface. Water runoff leaches oxides of iron and manganese from within this porous sandstone, creating these spectacular tapestries. When the winds are calm, the still waters become a giant mirror. Sometimes it's almost impossible to tell where rock and water meet. Another of nature's wonders is the incredible array of arches and natural bridges throughout Lake Powell country. The first arch you're likely to see is Waweep Window, just across the bay from Waweep Marina. From the rear of Waweep Window, you get a beautiful view of the bay. Lagorce Arch provides another view of the emerald waters below. Lake Powell's premier attraction is Rainbow Natural Bridge. Nowhere else on Earth is there a rock span to compare in height or in symmetry. Each year, thousands of people travel the lake to see this natural wonder. Rainbow Bridge is so revered that a national monument was established by presidential proclamation to protect it for future generations. Before the lake was built, some visitors rode horseback or hiked to visit Rainbow Bridge. The trip, along a hair-raising trail, covered 50 miles from Navajo Mountain in the background. Nevertheless, there were hardy adventurers who made the trek, including President Teddy Roosevelt and writer Zane Grey, the Western author who wrote two of his most famous novels about the area. The Indians have known about the rainbow turned to stone since the time of Christ. To them, it was a sacred place. To most of those who see it today, it still is. Lake Powell is abundant with western wildlife. Hiking the many trails is the best way to see these animals, but many can be spotted from boats near the shore. Magnificent bighorn sheep live in 3 areas along Lake Powell. What you're about to see is what the bighorns are famous for, a rarely photographed scene in which the ram sees a competitor vying for the affections of a female member of his flock. The leader decides it's time to face the problem head on. The intruder backs off to search for another harem with a leader who is less headstrong. Lake Powell contains more than 80 kinds of mammals. Hikers and boaters frequently see herds of deer. Here are a couple of real pioneers. These wild burros are descendants of the sturdy pack animals who played a major role in the development of the American West. And what would the West be without coyotes? From a passing boat, you can sometimes spot these legendary animals coming down to the lake for a drink. The coyote population in Lake Powell country is increasing. Stalking the shores of the lake is one of nature's great predators, the mountain lion. Migrating wild ducks find Lake Powell an inviting stopover. Golden eagles and bald eagles hunt and nest in Lake Powell country. They are spectacular, the undisputed king of birds, but they are threatened with extinction. In this rare footage, a bald eagle is performing for its young eaglet, trying to show the youngster how to fly. The little one's trying, almost ready to earn its wings. Now a little rest and encouragement before the next flying lesson. At the head of Lake Powell, near Wahweap, are 2 engineering marvels. This is Glen Canyon Dam and the steel arch Glen Canyon Bridge. In 1957, work began on Glen Canyon Dam. This historic film from the Bureau of Reclamation shows the blasting of a cofferdam to temporarily contain the Colorado River. Before the dam, the mud-red Colorado would hurl destructive floodwaters downstream. Construction crews worked round the clock. Steelworkers erected frameworks for the dam's huge power plant. Concrete, Eventually, more than 5 million cubic yards of it was lowered by cableways that spanned the gorge. In September of 1963, workmen celebrated as the last bucket of concrete was poured. Generation of electric power would begin shortly. It was time to begin filling Lake Powell, a process that would take 17 years. This is the visitor center, the starting point for a tour of the dam. Far down, in the 600-foot-long power generating room, 8 massive generators can produce enough energy to supply the needs of a major city. The destructive flood power of the Colorado River has been checked, but the river's normal flow has lost none of its character or might. Just below the dam, Glen Canyon remains as it has since prehistoric times. High, sheer walls and beautiful scenery are the lure for rafters who make the half-day and full-day trip from the dam to Lee's Ferry. The 17-mile river trip is a combination of adventure, relaxation, and pristine scenery. But the end of this trip is merely a starting point for a whitewater thriller through the world-famous rapids of the Grand Canyon. Trips range from 3 days to 10 days in length. The full trip can run through 122 major rapids before putting in at Lake Mead, 288 miles downstream. Whatever the length, it's the adventure of a lifetime. Wahweap Lodge and Marina make up one of the most beautiful and complete facilities in the national park system. The complex has a hotel, lodge, and convention center, plus a complete marina. You'll find launching ramps, a huge RV park, and public beaches. Windows of the Rainbow Room restaurant provide a panoramic view of beautiful Wahweap Bay. For guests who want a quick dip and tan, a modern swimming pool overlooks the waters of Lake Powell. A fleet of fast, comfortable tour boats features daily sightseeing trips to the scenic points around the lake. If you simply want to rent a hotel room without a boat, this is the way to see Lake Powell. The most unusual and elegant vessel is this colorful paddle wheeler, the Canyon King. Canyon King provides daily tours of Wahweap Bay, plus a romantic sunset cruise featuring champagne, dinner, and dancing. Lake Powell is the centerpiece of a world-class vacation in the Arizona high country, a jumping-off point for spectacular adventures in the great Southwest. It's about a 2-hour drive from Lake Powell to the north rim of the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon doesn't announce itself. There are no buttes or spires or mountains on the horizon. You must walk to the rim, and there, below you, is a gorge 13 miles wide and a mile deep. Next to its awesome beauty, the Grand Canyon is known for its legendary mules. Some say these sturdy mules are the best way to see the Grand Canyon. Instead of standing on the rim, you can climb aboard and explore the incredible beauty of this world-class wonder. The trails cling precariously to the sheer cliffs. Riders gasp at the spectacular world beneath them, sometimes thousands of feet down. The canyon's north rim is about 1,000 feet higher than the south rim. The busy south rim stays open year-round, but heavy snows in the 8,000-foot altitude force the north rim to close during the winter months. The Kaibab Plateau supports lush forests, mule deer, wild turkeys, sure-footed sheep range freely through the canyons and along the sheer cliffs. Inside the canyon, the cool alpine climate gives way quickly. The plants and animals of the lower desert appear. At the bottom of the canyon is the Colorado River. Averaging 300 feet wide and 30 feet deep, this mighty stretch of white water has been called an abrasive ribbon. It carries the sharp sands and gravels that carve the canyon. The work of carving continues. The Colorado River has made this little fellow a curiosity of evolution. Separated from his all-brown cousin by a canyon he can't cross, the Kaibab squirrel has evolved a fluffy white tail, probably camouflage against flying predators in the snows of the North Rim. The North Rim is less commercially developed than its sister facilities in the South Rim. The North Rim Lodge has been built right into the precipice, with windows and terraces that leave a visitor entranced. You can listen to the National Park Service rangers explain the geology of the Grand Canyon and study it, all from the comfort of a wicker chair. The best show in the world takes place at sunrise and sunset. Visitors gather at the canyon's viewpoints to watch one of nature's great spectacles. The Grand Canyon ranks as one of the wonders of the world. Musicians, painters, and poets have tried to capture its glory. The poet Alfred Bryan described it as 10,000 cathedrals rolled into one. Zion National Park is 120 miles from the North Rim, through beautiful forests and colorful mountain country. If you're driving from Wahweap Marina, it's slightly closer. At the Grand Canyon, people standing on the rim are spectators, outside looking in. At Zion, you are inside, surrounded, sometimes overwhelmed by the beauty. The east entrance is spectacular, twin tunnels blasted through solid rock. The second one is a mile long, with windows to give you a preview of the beauty that lies ahead. When the explorers and early settlers arrived, they felt the power of these towering cliffs. Names were chosen from the Bible. The East Temple, the Towers of the Virgin and the Altar of Sacrifice, the Sentinel, the West Temple, the Watchman, and Zion's supreme masterpiece, the Great White Throne. You can't help but feel awed by the grandeur of these biblical blocks of stone. You feel a hushed sense of reverence. The power of erosion takes dramatic form, like the great arch of Zion. The Zion visitor is impressed with the abundance of water. It seems to be everywhere. That's because the dominant rock is porous sandstone. Water travels down through this soft sandstone until it reaches a layer of less porous rock. Then it moves laterally, seeping, sometimes pouring out of the mountainside. The water gathers in small rivulets. It tumbles and falls along the canyon's narrow trails. It collects in pools at Weeping Rock and Emerald Pools, only to cascade over another cliff. It flows here to the Virgin River at the bottom of the canyon. In narrow places, it forms these beautiful rapids. Zion's horses carry visitors through the waters of the Virgin River. Is it this peaceful stream that carved the Grand Canyons of Zion? Nile Richards leads horseback tours of Zion Canyon.
Oh yeah, I've seen this river when it would swim a horse. Real muddy, lots of timber and everything else. And it will flood in the spring when the snow's melting up high, and again just in summer rainstorms, the cloudburst type storms.
The appearance of water is just that. Away from the springs, streams, and waterfalls, Zion is a desert. The desert flowers bloom in the spring and late summer. Near the springs, Zion is especially unusual. Where else would you find a swamp in the desert? Or hanging gardens of ferns and flowers? At the base of one of the tallest cliffs sits the Zion Lodge, shaded by giant cottonwoods. No mortal architect, only nature, could have provided such a picturesque setting. Beneath the West Temple and the Towers of the Virgin is the Zion Canyon Visitor Center. The National Park Service has provided a wealth of books, displays, and dioramas on the history and geology of Zion. Mormon pioneers settled in this area in the 1880s. Pioneer life here was hard. Park Ranger Lloyd Sandberg's ancestors were leaders of these early settlers.
It was in 1858 that Nephi Johnson explored up along the Virgin River. And he's the first we know of in modern times other than the Indians to come up into the canyon. By 1862, they were settling just south of us. 1 year after they settled in Springdale, one of the early settlers, Isaac B. Hunan, came up where the lodge area is now, a half a mile south of here. He and his family had been through the persecutions of the Mormon people. And now at last they'd found a haven of peace, security, and rest. One of the meanings of Zion. It also means a dwelling place of pure in heart, a land of inheritance. So wherever people are living in peace and harmony, no contention or strife, and a love for each other, you can have a condition of Zion.
So the word Zion, with all its biblical overtones, became the name of the nation's 8th national park. If your trips to the Grand Canyon and Zion National Park haven't taken you far enough into the Old West, try driving a few miles further. It's only about an hour and a half from Zion's east entrance to Bryce Canyon National Park. This is cattle country. Back in the 1880s, Ebenezer Bryce had a ranch here.
He had a ranch down here in the valley. And what he said about Bryce Canyon, it was a hell of a place to lose a cow.
Even before you enter the park, you begin to appreciate the rancher's problem. Bryce is filled with a maze of whimsical shapes and paint box colors. From the rim of Bryce's sheer cliffs, you can find hundreds, thousands of these toyland shapes. Where the immensity of the Grand Canyon and Zion challenge the human senses, Bryce is different. It is a challenge to the human imagination. The Paiute Indians thought these were the spirits of evil warriors, turned to stone. They were wary of the colorful rocks. But the early visitors were amused and awed. They saw Queen Victoria and her court. The ruins of Atlantis. And they called this Thor's hammer from the classics. Each generation sees new and wondrous shapes, like the silent city. Or this fashionable poodle dog. Bryce is a wonderland for children. It lets their imagination run free. For lack of a better name, these standing stones have come to be called hoodoos. Hoodoo is an Indian word, but in the modern Southwest, it has taken on a new meaning, an eroded geological formation. The hoodoos are loosely compacted lake gravels and clays, protected at the top by a limestone cap. Thunderstorms send torrents of rain, which erode the sides, but the stone cap protects the top. The geology of Bryce is different from that of its high country neighbors, Zion or the Grand Canyon. Although it is called Bryce Canyon, it is not a canyon. Rather, it is a series of amphitheaters eroded from the cliffside. You can hike into the forests of towering rocks. The trails are sometimes steep, but they are short and well maintained by the National Park Service. Or you can climb into the saddle and look for Ebenezer Bryce's stray cows. Bryce is small by comparison to its giant neighbors. The lodge is a meeting place, and you are quickly acquainted with other visitors, Park Service rangers and the park staff. It's a friendly atmosphere. Your memories of Bryce Canyon National Park will remind you of a colorful fairyland created by a whim of nature. This giant arched cave is just off the road on your drive from Lake Powell to Monument Valley. You can hike down inside and pay a visit to the ghosts of the American West. Past the halfway point on the 2-hour drive to Monument Valley, you'll see a sign that reads, Navajo National Monument. But the monument contains ruins that were here centuries before the Navajo. This is Betatakin, a comfortable hike. A few miles away by foot or horseback is Keat Seal. These are villages of the Anasazi, 2 of their better preserved ruins. So well preserved that you get the eerie feeling that their ancient spirits still linger. The Anasazi first appeared in the Southwest at least 2,000 years before the time of Christ. They made their way to Betatakin about 1300 AD. Near a small stream, they found a giant, perfectly arched cave. These prehistoric people dug irrigation systems from the streams. They grew gardens of corn, squash, and beans. Obviously, these beautiful structures were built to last. After 700 years, the only major deterioration is from rock slides. But scientific data indicates the Anasazi lived here for only about 30 years. And then, this Indian civilization vanished. There is strong evidence that the Anasazi may have just moved a few mesas to the south to become the Hopi. But they left few clues. They simply departed, leaving their belongings still in place. Their disappearance remains a mystery. From the riddle of Betatakin, it's a short drive to Monument Valley. To the world, this is the American West. No, Monument Valley didn't play much of a role in the development of the West. Few, if any, cattle drives went through here. No settlers, no towns, no gold strikes. Trading post operator Harry Goulding helped make obscure Monument Valley famous. In the Depression-racked 1930s, Harry and his wife Mike knew the local economy desperately needed help. Noted photographer Joseph Munch put together a photo album of Monument Valley. Harry took the album showing the splendor of the monuments to Hollywood and director John Ford. Harry has passed on now, but a longtime employee, tour director Chuck Brand, remembers how this pioneer brought Hollywood to Monument Valley.
He went into the office and was totally rejected, and they tried to throw him out, but he refused to budge. And finally, one of the people came out, saw some of the pictures under his arm, and decided to look a little bit closer. They called in John Ford, and together an agreement was reached on the filming of a Western movie in this area.
The movie turned out to be a smash success. Stagecoach. It made a star of a young actor named John Wayne. It also made a star of Monument Valley, how the real West should look and would look to a succession of 9 John Ford movies. Fort Apache, starring John Wayne and Henry Fonda. My Darling Clementine with Ward Bond and Jimmy Stewart. Cheyenne Autumn and a series of other hits. Movie companies and the tourists who followed them brought dollars to the valley. This is Harry Goulding's legacy. Tour buses full of visitors who want to see the valley, the Navajo, the dusty trails where the cavalry rode, and John Wayne's dressing room. When you left the city of Page, you entered the sprawling Navajo reservation. At 14 million acres, it is bigger than some states, the largest of America's Indian preserves. It contains the Monument Valley Navajo Tribal Park. The Navajos are torn between the ways of the old and the new, but have raised sheep and goats since the days of the Spanish conquistadors. The world of these proud people, once fiercely warlike, is fascinating to modern-day visitors. Many of the Navajo live in the hogans of past centuries. These are heavily timbered homes, often covered with clay. Navajo are expert weavers, artisans with woolens that command premium prices and win coveted awards. Susie Yazzie is such an artist. The wool comes from sheep grown on her ranch. She dyes the fabrics with colors found in the plants of the valley. The geologic features of Monument Valley are stark and beautiful. Arches soar over what was once an ancient stream bed. And flowers. Almost everywhere the eye turns in the spring and the fall, the desert blooms with flowers. Sunrises and sunsets cause the valley to glow. The mineral-stained sandstone turns to fiery reds and oranges, deep blues and purples. The monuments are in their glory. In late autumn, the cottonwoods turn golden, and light snow falls high up on the Navajo Mountain. That's when rental rates for rooms and boats drop even lower, and fishing turns from good to spectacular. These are striped bass in a fall feeding frenzy, a sight to thrill a fisherman. Let's find out how good the fishing can be during the fall, winter, and spring. The place is 30-mile-long Navajo Canyon, known for its wide variety of game fish. We'll follow a November fishing group, including television fishing hosts Ned Smith and Reed Peterson, plus anglers Steve Ward and Mike Elliott, and Lake Powell fishing guide Bump Elliott.
Here he is. It's a walleye. Look at that thing. Hey! Well, those things are streamlined, aren't they?
Going back there?
Yeah.
Where'd you get him? Right out of that wood, see, huh?
If I can get it.
This is a section of the upper canyon where rains have washed down debris from the hillsides. Steve pulls in the first largemouth.
You coming?
There he is.
Largemouth, in it. Go ahead, just lift him right in. Hey!
After several more largemouth, it's time to move on and make the switch from lures to frozen anchovies. Thereafter, Lake Powell's legendary striped bass. Guide Bump Elliott shows the technique.
A very small worm hook. You don't need a real big hook to catch big fish. It's about a number 1/0 worm hook right here. And all I'm doing right now, when the fishing is real good, is hooking him right behind his dorsal fin and bringing the point out the other side. Now I'm fishing this without any weight at all. That's a fun way to fish. Here he comes.
Ned Smith quickly proves the frozen anchovies work. In addition to the native fish population, millions of other game fish, including stripers, have been introduced to the waters of Lake Powell.
Looky there. I think I'll take him. Throw him out of there. There you go.
See how big he is.
Oh, that's about 6-7 pound fish.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Hey, I got one.
Uh-oh, you got one, Steve?
Yeah. He's going under the boat. Look at that. Double look up. Oh, here they go. There he is.
Hey, oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, I got one going.
Oh,
I got him. I've got him. Oh, you got one, Reed, too? Oh, man, we got 4. Oh, isn't that
We're
beautiful?
going to get him up here together, Steve. Here comes another one in.
We better start turning them loose.
Let's get him in. Get him. Gee Willikers. Looky there. Look at that.
Man,
That's what you call a mess, isn't it?
I can't believe it.
it's fabulous.
It's a mess of fish.
Talk about minnows.
You got some sharp knives back at the house, folks?
Hey, I hope
We
it is.
better
I
get
hope
back
it
and
is.
get that thing sharp because we're going to be cleaning fish half the
This
night.
group of fishermen didn't catch every variety of fish in the lake, but nobody seems to be complaining. Back in 1957, a temporary government construction camp was built to house workmen for the new Glen Canyon Dam. It is now the thriving city of Page, Arizona, an oasis in the desert. There are modern shopping malls, restaurants, and motels. The Page Airport has daily service to Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Salt Lake City. The schools in Page are among the finest in the nation, a combination of Anglo and Navajo students. Residential homes are well kept, and there is a feeling of community pride. Page continues to thrive on electrical power. In addition to the Glen Canyon Dam, there is another electrical producer, the huge Navajo Generating Station. Managed by the Salt River Project, it produces power for a wide section of the Southwest.
The name of the boat's Wayward Son. However, next year it's going to be the Wayward Dad.
Page has year-round community involvement. One of the biggest events is the annual Festival of Lights Parade in December. Boat owners and volunteers spend hundreds of hours on lavish decorations. It is one of the most colorful nautical parades in the nation.
Right, Herb. Listen, go for it, man. You got it. Right, Herb. Right, Herb.
Another major event in Page is the annual rodeo. It is a Wild West event in which most of the contestants are Navajo, but it's open to everybody daring enough to enter. Throughout this majestic land of the American Southwest, sunset is a time of particular glory. Nowhere is this more evident than at Lake Powell, where sun and water meet on the horizon. Reflections in the clear waters enhance the golds, oranges, dark reds, and pastels. And finally, it is time for the curtain slowly to drop on another day's magnificent performance at Lake Powell.